large U.S. insurance company. We've automated all of insurance underwriting. A process that used to take 2 weeks can now be done in 3 hours with a 78 agent AI model. And you can think about that as not just the time saved, which is the first order benefit, but the second order benefit is if all of your competitors take 2 weeks to price risk and you take 3 hours, it's going to be a fundamental dislocation of the market.
I was just going to ask, because IBM is going after enterprise, and Google and Microsoft, they're all going after these enterprise systems for changing how corporations operate and getting them more productive and efficient. So what do you do that they can't?
Well, I think what the market realizes is nobody wants to be on the self-driving car journey. We had a prototype self-driving car in 2005. It drove 120 miles through the desert. 20 years later, we have commercial service in 3 cities. You know, that's not a rewarding journey. So all the value is going to accrete to the companies who have built the tool chain that allows you to get to production quickly. And we've spent the better part of a decade building exactly that.
Although the self-driving thing has a lot of friction from regulation and making sure it's safe, right?
And so, Will, I mean, insurance is a very regulated industry. Hospitals are very regulated. We manage 21% of hospital beds in the U.S. I think, if you want to solve the whole problem, you have to be able to solve the whole problem and provide the regulators the transparency, the assurance, the telemetry and observability they need to say, yes, this model can be in production. This workflow can be AI enabled.
Do you think geopolitics and global friction is the Palantir story? To what degree is that part of the mix right now, would you say?
Well, I think it's certainly part of the mix overall, where you have you have cultural differences. I'd say Europe is looking kind of like deer in headlights. They're trying to think their way through the AI problem. And if there's anything about AI, it is fundamentally experiential. You cannot think your way through it. If you're paying consultants to help you to think about how to deploy it, you're just lighting money on fire. You have got to roll up your sleeves and get busy implementing it. And that is a unique strength of the American commercial markets. You see American companies reacting in exactly that way. And it's a big part of why I think America is outpacing the rest of the world in terms of adoption and the value it's creating from AI.
Well, and is it more affordable? Because a few years ago, it was thought to be high price point for governments and for companies, and that's limited adoption.
Well, it's more effective. You kind of get what you pay for, and certainly people view us as a premium product, but when you get results in weeks instead of years, it's clearly worth it.
What about what Carl mentioned on the military side of things and that business and the growth rate right now, given the geopolitical backdrop is going from bad to worse?
Absolutely. I mean, you can look at the current events in the Middle East, but I think if you zoom out a little bit, like we are, as America, in an undeclared state of emergency. We have, a year ago, we had a pogrom in Israel where 1,200 people were slaughtered. We've had over 100 attacks on U.S. bases from Iran. We have unprecedented phase 0 and gray zone operations in the South China Sea from the CCP. And we have 1 million casualties in Ukraine. And these are not disconnected events. There is an axis of authoritarians who have lined up to counter Western and American interests here, and we have to rise to that occasion. A big part of that is not just the work we do with the military, AI enabling the kill chain to drive deterrence, to scare the bejesus out of our enemies, but also to reindustrialize America. If we're really going to deter World War III, we have to be able to make things. A lot of the lessons from Ukraine, we spent 10 years of munitions, 10 years of production of munitions in 10 weeks. That is a clarion call to refire up the arsenal of democracy so that we can actually deter great power conflict that might be coming.